Well, we tackled the big field with some small coils. Well, welcome to Finding America. It is really nice to see you here. So, what do you do with a really old field that you know has been pounded to death and hunted for the past 20 years? Well, you try and think outside the box. Maybe instead of bolting the big coil and going over that field, try putting on the small coil and diving right into the iron. Well, that's exactly what I've been doing for the past few weeks, and those who have been watching the episodes know that it's been paying off pretty well. Now, what you want to do is pick an area of the field that you know has been very productive in the past. And the key to using a small coil is going low and slow, and most importantly, being patient and perseverant. Well, Chris and I got together this past weekend, and that's exactly what we did. And we ended up having some great finds, some great laughs, and some great memories. Well, I am back out at the old plantation, and they have cut the grass, the entire farm, except for the field I was hunting last week. I told Chris they're just playing with me. And Chris is over there, way down there. I think you can see him. He's swinging away. And but I've been told that he's coming back a little later. He had to go check on his cows, and he was going to finish it up, because it's just that one little area that we've been hunting that he still has left to do. So hopefully that'll be done soon, and we'll jump back onto that field. But in the meantime, I'm back on a field that I've hunted before and had a lot of success, but I have not used the small coil on before. So Manticore M8, give it a shot over here. This one gave me a 42, kind of banging, and it was such a tiny little thing. The ground is like concrete right now. I don't know. Hopefully we get some rain soon, but in the meantime we'll just keep chipping away. But I found this little piece, and it actually kind of has a loop up there. I thought it was a 22 casing, but it's not. I don't really know what this is, so I'll get it cleaned up and get a better look at it later once I get back home. But it definitely looks old, and it's pretty interesting for such a tiny little thing. Well, I am running the fast program so I can work in between all the iron, and there is a ton of it. It's like machine gun fire. And I'm running the open with the horseshoe on, so completely wide open, and really going nice and slow. I got a 19 signal, nice repeatable signal. Man, this ground it's a bear. That's all I can say. But luckily it was enough to get down to this thing, which I'm not even sure what this is. It might be a coin. Look at that. I don't know. Really has some crud on it. It's really tough stuff. So I'm going to work on it just a little bit, see if it's anything. Hopefully not a zinc, but it's kind of low even for one of those. Well, mystery solved. I started punching through this rust on the back. I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe it's like a little ring or something. And I turned it over, and I thought I saw something. I got the Andre pin, so I started working on it, and yep, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, ah, that's what it is. Check that out. That is an old Denim button. That's from the 30s into the 40s. But yeah, it's a sanforized button. And of course, sanforized was a chemical process invented back in the late 20s, early 30s to apply to denim products, and it kept them from shrinking when you washed them. So very cool. It's an old workwear button, and I will definitely take that. Well, about 10 feet further along in this field, just going really slow. Got another nice 19 repeatable target. And check this out. It's gonna be another old work button. So I will definitely take that. This is one I have found before. And this is a big band. I'm sorry, Big Ben. Big Ben variety. So very cool, and another one from the 20s into the 30s. Well, Chris and I are on our favorite field here. They just got done cutting it, so all the grass is laid down, and I am so ready for this. At least I don't have grass going up to my neck anymore. So let me turn this off. My first signal was kind of a wonky one. I dug down and it turned out to be an interesting piece of iron, which I find a lot of in this field. So I thought I'd show it to you because I am not sure what this is. It's pretty neat, pretty heavy cast iron point it comes to. It definitely looks like it was handmade. So just thought I'd show you that one. If anyone out there knows what this is, always love to hear it. Well, Chris called me over.
Happy days are here again, sir.
Yeah, you had a happy hole here.
Yeah.
So he got this, is pretty cool.
So I think that side's brass, but then this is actual
Mother of pearl.
I call it mother of pearl, but it might have been shell. I mean, we're not far from
Yeah, we think it might be
scale, pocket knife.
A cover for a pocket knife, side cover, and it definitely could be. It's an odd duck, but
that would have been the nameplate, I guess.
I've never seen one like that before. The shield,
cool.
You know.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. I really like that. And we were sitting there, and you might recall, I told him last week, or the week before, whenever it was, always chase your signals with your pinpointer because there's just so many things in the hole here. And boy, did it ever pay off for him.
As you were pulling out the camera, I said, oh, don't mind.
It was right by his knee.
Yeah, first I got a little nail.
And check this out.
And then this puppy rolled out.
Unbelievable.
Flat bottomed.
Very nice.
Definitely.
That's a bullet I have not dug before.
I swear it looks like some kind of a Colt 45. That's about a 45 size. Look at that. It was hand cast, I think.
Oh, it's got the seam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Man, it was a dropper too.
Beautiful bullet. Solid base. That is awesome. Wow. I'll tell you what, I've just not dug one of those before. It's bigger than the Colts I've dug.
All in a fist-sized hole.
Yeah. Funny how that works. Yeah, machine go beep, you go dig, and there's something in the hole.
Awesome, man.
Very, very cool. Well, I had to put my back to the wind here, but I got an interesting target. I knew it was going to be iron, but I just can't resist it. I love the iron I find here, and this is no exception. I thought I was going to get a horseshoe, but check this out. Is that not funky? Let me get this red end off here before he gets me. But look at that, how it steps down on both sides. I have no idea what that was. It is darn cool though. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll see if I can figure it out, but Might just have to be a mystery find. Well, we have yet another mystery solved this week, thanks to all of you watching last week. You might remember that really old looking piece of brass that I found in last week's episode. Well, a whole lot of you chimed in on this one, but the very first to let me know what this was in the comments was Dirt Floor Motors. And they let me know that I'd found something pretty darn awesome. Turned out to be an old brass nose cap that went on the end of a very old musket with an octagon barrel. So there you have it. A huge thank you goes out to Dirt Floor Motors and everyone else that helped make last week's mystery find this week's mystery solved. Well, I got a nice 22-24 signal, and I was able to isolate it. There's a lot of iron right here, and it looked pretty good on the screen too, conductive line. So I cut a plug and gave it a pop after my pinpointer told me it was still in the hole, and check it out. Look what popped up. I think I can see a shank.
That dirt is beautiful up here.
Isn't it gorgeous?
I was down on the side and I was already hitting clay, so holy cow.
I know, this is really nice old dirt up here.
Yeah, it's sticking.
I think I got a nice flat button.
Oh yeah, there's a shank.
Yeah, I just keep hoping one time let it be an early military button.
Some kind of eagles on it.
I don't see anything on it, but I'll give it a quick clean with the Andre pencil, and I'll come right back. We'll see what it looks like.
Sweet.
Nice find. Well, gave it a quick scrub, and it appears to be a 1790 to 1810. I don't see a back mark on it, and it does have a very unusual shank. I don't see anything on the other side, but you never know. It's not cleaned all the way yet, but that's a great find. Like I said before, it's always a good day when you can pull a flat button out.
Awesome.
It's definitely awesome. Well, this was definitely an iffy target, but I'm just going for anything out here. And it turned out to be a couple square nails, but I also got a couple pieces of pottery, this gray, pretty interesting piece, and then I got a very nice piece of blue feather edge. So definitely something that you would expect from an early colonial era federal period, and happy to see that. Well, I just pulled the two square nails and the blue feather edge piece from there, and that freed up a conductive target. When I filled it in and I went over it, just to the side of the hole, I got a nice repeatable signal. And check this out. It's something very small and round. Now it could be a flat button, I don't know. But either way, it's definitely worth filming. Yeah, you can see where.
There's the shank.
Yeah.
Sweet though.
Definitely.
Maybe it's got a flower or something on it.
That'd be nice. We're an eagle on top of a cannon.
Yeah.
It might have a back mark. I'm not sure, but we'll see if there's anything on this side. The wind feels good, but it does make filming difficult. Yeah, I think it's going to be plain, but
a little cuffy.
That's pretty awesome, though. Definitely completely masked by the nails until I took them out. So. Well, just going low and slow, and I heard a nice little conductive target, nice little sound, and managed to isolate it, and it repeated 42 both ways. Just sounded great. So I went ahead and sunk a plug, popped it open. Pinpointer said it was still in there, and I saw it right away. Check that out. Nice little piece of Civil War history. Yeah, that's going to be a Spencer casing. Definitely a weapon of choice of Union cavalrymen. So I'm definitely very happy to see that. And Chris got one I guess it was a couple weeks ago. So I guess it's my turn. Well, I just dug that Spencer casing not too long ago. Got a nice little repeatable signal, and I got the base of a Spencer casing again. So pretty cool. This is the third one from this field. So we know we had artillery on this field, and we also had cavalry with the dragoon button, and then we have a cavalry ammunition and the Spencer rounds. So pretty cool, and it's pretty neat when you know that the finds match the history of this place, and it really comes alive when you're pulling it out of the ground. Well, one of the last times I was here, I pulled out an open-ended thimble. I was pretty happy about that, but this time I got a thimble, and it's a very first for me. It is an extremely old dome-top thimble, and look at that. That is just absolutely awesome. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. That is incredible. I'm trying to remember what these are made of. It's like copper or bronze, but very heavy, very early. So I know the dimples are pretty uniform, so it's probably going to be early 1800s. But that is a very first for me. I haven't found one of these before, and I'm just absolutely thrilled. It's the bottom of it's broken and who knows where, but I think it's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. So I'm very, very thrilled with that. I've always wanted to find one, and I finally got it. Knocked that one off my little bucket list. You know, it's really amazing how such a simple thing like a sewing thimble has so much history behind it. Now, these thimbles date way back. Matter of fact, all the way back to the 1st century AD, where one was discovered in the ruins of Pompeii. Well, for many centuries afterwards, these thimbles were one-off creations made by local craftsmen. And the thimble that was first widely produced was made in England by a Dutch metalworker named John Lofting all the way back in 1695. Well, John Lofting's creation was worn on the thumb, and it was shaped like a bell. And it seemed only natural that it be called the thumb bell. Well, over the years, the thumb bell's name softened a bit until it eventually was known as the thimble. Well, over time, the sewing thimble took on other purposes as well. Bars and taverns in the 1800s began using the thimble to measure out their spirits, which soon created a very popular phrase, just a thimbleful. And during Victorian times, many a strict schoolteacher would face an unruly pupil. This is a problem easily solved with a sharp tap on the head from her finger and a thimble. Today, thimbles are still used every single day, and they're also widely collected. And here's one last little tidbit of information. Do you know what thimble collectors are referred to as? They're actually called digitabulists. Well, there's your word for the day, and you know, it's just absolutely amazing the incredible history we can learn from the finds that we pull from the ground. Well, Chris is joining me down on this area of the field. This is actually where I found the Musket piece, a couple early, about 1810, 1820 buttons, and I just got that really cool little thimble. And now I came down here and I got an iron signal, but it was 2021. It was repeatable and everything, so I dug down about 8-10 inches and popped out this very cool little iron buckle. So pretty cool. It's probably horse tack, but I don't know, something about the way it's like perfectly square. I was thinking possibly it might have another application, but it's definitely old. Well, I just found another one. Pretty awesome. 48 to 50 signal, repeatable, and I guess I went down about 7-8 inches on it, and this is number 3 for the day. Another Spencer cartridge. That's pretty awesome. And all 3 of mine have been fired. Chris has one. So this is 4 for this field. I think they might have had a little engagement here on this little knoll. And yep, they're all fired. And Chris was like, "Where's the lead?" I said, "Probably a little ways away." I think they might have had some type of an engagement or a conflict up here. And very cool. You can see how they're crushed too, and that's kind of indicative because these were fired while they were on their horses, and spent casings and everything would hit the ground, and a lot of times in my mind I could easily imagine the horses trampling the casings on the ground. So that's pretty cool. That's definitely a little bit of history coming alive there. Now, when Chris and I got to the permission bright and early that morning, we started to gear up, and that's when the owner of the property came out to say hello. Now, he's a really great guy, and as I saw him approaching, I said, "There's something different here." He was wearing a full beard. And as he neared me, I said, "Man, what the heck happened to your face?" And he joked back, "I lost my razor." So we all laughed about that. And then I told him, I said, "Well, you know, Chris and I have been known to find a razor or two when we're out metal detecting." Well, that got another big laugh, but as it turned out, that was not the last laugh of the day. Yeah, towards the end of the hunt, Chris pulled this from his last hole. Well, Chris said, "Come on over."
I wasn't going to walk over to you. This late in the day.
Getting a little whipped.
I do declare that's a straight razor.
Yep, sure
Blade.
is. Definitely.
Heavy duty. That might have been military.
Yeah, who knows how far back this goes.
Wow,
very cool.
Rust on it. That's neat, though.
Yeah, little straight shaving razor. So, could easily go back into the 1800s, and from the looks of it, it goes back to the 1400s.
Yes, I think so.
Well, after that, Chris and I were walking back to the vehicle just busting a gut over that find. And as I looked up, here comes the property owner on his ATV. And he pulls up and parks. He says, "Hey guys, you find anything good?" I said, "Matter of fact, we found something just for you." And he got a puzzled look on his face. And I held it up and I said, "Chris found you a razor." And he just started laughing. And after he looked at it for a while, he looked at me and said, "Hey, if you get it sharpened up, bring it back next week." And I told him, I said, "Well, if you're going to use this one, you're going to need to get a tetanus shot." Well, we just laughed about that and the irony of it all. And it really goes to show you that while the finds are great, It's the memories that we make while metal detecting that end up being the biggest treasures. Well, I have to say, those small coils came through once again in that big field. Now, don't go anywhere just yet. Please stick around for just 2 more minutes, and I know you'll be really glad that you did. Well, I really hope you enjoyed watching this episode, and remember, it's history that makes the find a treasure. And I can't wait to see you back here next week on Finding America.